I took a personality test and it determined that I am destined for success. So that's it. That's me. I'm just going to sit here and wait for it to come. So here we are again. Yeah, I am not much of a whole personality test person. I know that there's a community of people out there who really like that and really dig into that, and that means a lot to them. And kudos to them. I'm not taking shots or anything. It's just never really been my thing. But there's a musician that I really like who released an album, and the album was named after a personality test. And I said, what the heck? Let's take it and see what happens. And the results were pretty interesting. So that's what we're going over here today. The name of the test, I believe, is Enneagram or something like that, something along those lines. So there's 9 personalities in this test. And the idea being that you fall strongly into one of those personality traits, if you will, and then from there you're going to that will help you guide and make your decisions. And then it's kind of like a board game in the fact that you can apparently move from one personality trait to the other to the other to the other as you grow and expand as a person and further understand the concepts. It sounds interesting. And so I took the test and I graded myself on it. And so I'm sure my grading system and my test taking scores and all that good stuff probably don't jive with what is what they expect out of people. But I'm just me doing my thing. So here's what we've got. There is a total of, let me count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. There is a total of 14 questions in this questionnaire, and you answer them all from 1 to 5. 5 being very accurate. This statement is super accurate to me, and then 1 being inaccurate, as in this statement is inaccurate to me. And then what I did is I took my answers, I added them all up, divided them by 14, which is the number of questions, and then whatever number I got is the personality trait that I fell under. So again, I said there's 9 personality traits. Let me pull those up real quick. Okay, here we go. So I got them here for you. So the first personality is a strict perfectionist. That sounds fun. The second personality is the considerate helper. I could see myself falling in that one. Pretty considerate, like to help people. Number 3 is the competitive achiever. I'm not a very competitive person. That doesn't really drive me, so not thinking that one's got too much going for me. My phone done turned on me. Number 4 is the intense creative. That sounds good. I like that one. I could jive with that. Number 5 is the quiet specialist. I mean, I could see that. I'm not overly quiet anymore, but once upon a time I was, so maybe I'm still the quiet specialist. Number 6 is the loyal skeptic. I feel like I know a lot of loyal skeptics, and I am not one of them. Number 7, the enthusiastic visionary. That's exciting. I feel like I can be an enthusiastic visionary. What do you guys think about that one? Number 8, the active controller. That just sounds all bad. You're actively controlling things. Nothing about that sounds good. No, thank you. Number 9, the adaptive peacemaker. I can see peacemaker, not so much, but enough. So, okay, those are our 9 personalities. I've got 14 questions to answer, 1 through 5, 1 being inaccurate, 5 being accurate, and then from there we're going to average up my score and figure out where I fall on the spectrum. Question number 1 is, I strive for perfection. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and give that number a 5. I'm going to go ahead and give that a 5. I am, as much as I hate to admit it, a perfectionist. When it comes to my writing or any kind of work that I create, I am constantly striving to make it perfect. And the most frustrating part about it is perfection is not something that is obtainable. Nothing will ever be perfect. And so to chase it means that you're never actually going to be completely satisfied with your work or with what you do, because you're chasing something that can't be achieved. And so it's frustrating, and I acknowledge that it's frustrating. But as a creative, I always say that we are our biggest critic. And I hold that true, especially to myself, because I can write an entire book and I will see every single minute flaw in it. And someone else will read it and be like, that was a great story. And I'm like, but what about that and 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 that? It was all so bad and awful. But like, that's the price you pay for having created it, I guess. Or if you're me, at least, because that's all I do is focus on the imperfections and it's awful. So yes, I strive for perfection. First question, number 5, highly accurate to myself. Let's move on to the second one. I work hard to be helpful. I'm gonna give that one a 5 as well. I work very hard. I mean, this kind of sounds like I'm just sitting here tooting my own horn. Oh, I strive for perfection. Oh, I work really hard. But I work hard and I like to help people. So like, that seems like a solid thing for me. I'm going strong. We're gonna go with 5. Number 3. It's important that other people like me. As much as I would love to say that is a 1 and it's very inaccurate and I don't give a darn what people think, I know myself better than that, and I would probably give it a 5 if I'm being honest. I get way too hung up over what people think about me, and like on a constant basis, and it'll be like complete strangers. Like, I'm a huge gamer. I video game online all the time, and I meet a lot of people on Xbox, and they're essentially just strangers, and we can play a game together, play like one game here and there, whatever, and then like all of a sudden, like, I'm attached to this individual and I really care what they think about me. And sometimes it bugs me. It's like, why do you care so much what this voice on the other side of your headset thinks of you? But like, that voice is a person, and I really want to be accepted by these people, and it's awful and great all at the same time, and I drive myself crazy because I'm like, oh, they hate me because I'm too obnoxious, or they don't hate me because I'm not obnoxious. I don't know. But yes, as much as I hate to admit it, it means a lot to me to be liked, and so I'm gonna give that one a 5. Next question here is, let's see, I lost track of where I am. It is important to achieve great things. Yeah, I'm going to give that one a 5 as well. I have always been striving for the bigger and better and badder things in life. Like, it's not enough for me to just have a job and then retire and then die. Like, that's depressing. Let's not do that. Obviously, like, the idea for most people is to start the family, and the family is what you leave behind. You leave this world with your children, and like, those are the generations beyond you. And this is gonna get kind of dark and gloomy. But I mean, the reality is you're lucky to touch like 5 generations of your own family, and that's pushing it, because like, you have you, and then you have your child, and so you'll be like a huge part of that person's life, obviously, and then your child's child is your grandchild, and you hope to have a pretty big impact on their life as well. But then when your grandchild has a child, like, then you're the great grandparent, and you're slowly but surely getting further and further away from the generations here. And eventually you get to the grandchild's child, and you're kind of out of the picture at that point. So like, boom, like, you've got 5, it may be more like 4 generations of impact that's guaranteed just through the process of having an offspring. And like, that's the easiest way to live on beyond yourself, as most people see it, but it also doesn't get you that much. Like, I despise the idea of passing away and just disappearing into oblivion. Like, even as young as I am, 28 years into this world, I would hate to have like been here for 28 years and done nothing for the world in that short a period of time. Like, I want to go, and I want to leave something behind that people will continue to go to for like decades. And writing is like perfect for that. And look at the amount of novels that were written in like the 1800s that people are still reading, and they're taught in schools, and these are like major pieces of fiction that like the whole world recognizes people need to experience. And maybe that's a lofty goal for myself, but it is the end goal. Like, if I only have one book that touches society in such a way that I know that no matter how long I'm gone, there will be a group of people in this world who are touched and affected by it, that is the ultimate goal. And so, yes, I want to live and achieve great things, and leave something behind that is bigger than just the natural generations that most people leave behind in their time. Okay, so I make a more significant contribution than others. These questions, like, are gonna make me seem like the biggest, like, blowhard, big-headed, awful, like, I love myself kind of person. But, I mean, I do feel like I make bigger achievements and do greater things than the general populace. Like, I've written several books, and that's more than what most the population can say. And I hate to, like, flag that around as a, ooh, look at me, but, like, that's what the question wants me to do. And I'm answering the questions honestly, darn it. So I'm going to give that one a 4. I'm not going to go all bored and say I'm a 5, but yeah, I do honestly think that I am achieving things that are greater than what the average person can achieve. And even if you take writing out of that, I've done a lot of things in life that is just very different and maybe not more grand is the right word for it, but it's just different and unique to me. And it sets me apart from the billions of people out there. And so yes, I do strive to do things and create contributions to this world greater than most, and I'm own that. I feel emotions very deeply. This test is designed to make me look horrible, but that's a 1. Like, I am like egregiously bad at registering emotions, like to the point where, like, sometimes things will happen and my lack of response, like, honestly makes me question my own morality at times. It's odd and it's bizarre, but I am not overly affected by emotions. And, like, I really, like, want to be a singer. Like, I love singing and think that is so much fun and I love that craft. But I think my lack of or inability to, like, tap into my own emotions is really what, like, hinders my ability to do anything in that field, because it is so emotionally heavy. Your emotions are what drive, like, your performance. And if you're not feeling it and you're not there emotionally, then it's just going to be dry and stale. And I feel like everything I sing is dry and stale. And I get it now, because I am not super close or largely in touch with my emotions. I have lost multiple close friends for someone at my age and not shed a single tear over it. And that sounds awful, and it sounds cold, and it sounds like, maybe they weren't even that close a friend, but I promise you they were very close. We were very close, but for whatever reason, they passed, they're gone, and yes, I'm sad, I'm bummed out about it. It sucks that we can never hang out again, but that was it. Like, not a single tear. And it feels weird, and at times I'm kicking myself over it. Like, why aren't you more sad about this? And I don't understand it, but I at least can recognize it, I guess, that yes, that is a 1. I am not very in touch with my emotions. Next question. I feel others will never completely understand me. I mean, I feel like that's kind of, like, pretty high for everybody. I'm gonna give that a 4, but, like, can anybody really honestly answer this question and say, oh yes, I feel like others can understand me completely, 100%? Like, no, I really have a hard time believing that anyone would give that a 1 and say that it is super inaccurate. I am so understandable, and that, like, there's no nuance to me as a person at all. And so that's kind of an odd question, but yeah, if you're asking me, like, I'm going to give that a 4. Like, I bet you if someone, like, took the time to try and understand me, they would understand, like, 85% of me, but there's still that 15% of me that I'm keeping with me, and ain't nobody getting in there. So, yeah. I think deeply about things. That's a 5. Like, and I'm sure anybody else on here watching this who is a writer probably understands it as well. We overthink everything. Like, you can see a yellow door and be like, wow, that's a yellow door. And while we're walking up on it like, wow, but look at how chipped the paint is. That means it must be old. And then the door, but it doesn't creak when you open it, so maybe it was recently replaced, or the hinges have changed. Or you could just go on and on and on about this door that is yellow, yellow, while someone else might just walk along and be like, oh, it's a yellow door, cool, and then move on with their life. And so yes, I do overthink things, and that's a really silly kind of example that I gave, but I gave a lot of heavy examples for other stuff, so we'll be silly for a little bit. I am prepared for any disaster. I'm going to give that one a 4 as well. I don't honestly think anyone can be prepared for a mass majority of anything that life throws at you, because there's an infinite amount of possibilities of things that you can experience at any given point in time. So to be prepared for that or any capacity of that is just not going to happen. But to the same end, I try and be as prepared for any solution or possible situation that my mind sets me up for. So of the 100 things that my mind thinks I might encounter, I am at least 80% prepared for those 100 things. But the other bajillions of things out there that the world can just be like, ha, deal with this now. I'm just gonna deal with it, and that's life. So once again, I feel like that question is kind of loaded. Like, can anyone really be prepared for any disaster? That's pretty broad, but I'll give it a 4. I must avoid pain and suffering always. Like, again, I feel like who isn't going to give that a relatively high answer, because we as people want to avoid pain and suffering. I don't know very many people, I'm sure there's people out there, but I don't know very many people who like revel in the idea of being in pain all the time and just like, oh, I love my sorrow, oh, I love my pain. But like, it just doesn't make sense to me. But yeah. And maybe that's me. Maybe I'm going to answer all these questions and be like, there's no one else in this world who would think the opposite way of this. And then like a bajillion people are going to pop up and be like, actually, I'm the opposite. Boom. So yeah, congratulations to you opposite people out there. But for me, I just cannot fathom someone who would answer this low. I'm going to give it like a 4. I understand that I cannot possibly avoid all the pain and suffering in life, but I'm going to try my darndest to avoid it. Like, let's go. I seek out happy and exciting experiences. Yeah, like, can I give that one a 6? Like, I want to give that one a 6 because I seek out the most happy and exciting things that I possibly can. I am like, anyone who knows me can vouch for this, but I am a giant child at heart. Like, I still to this day think the world of Pokemon, and I will watch the Pokemon anime like a bajillion times over and just continually do anything and everything ever related to Pokemon, and it's great. But that's like, it doesn't even stop there. Like, there are so many crazy, weird, childish things that I do, like, that anyone who knows me is like, oh yeah, that man is like literally a living child. Like, you want to see a living child, I'm a living child. And I seek out those kind of childlike experiences that are just exciting and beyond this world and bigger and greater and grander than everything, and that is me. So I am going to absolutely give that a 5. Not afraid to say when someone is wrong. So I will give that a 4, but I will say that that's only something that I've acquired in my older age. And I say older age as if I'm this decrepit old thing in front of a camera talking to you right now. Obviously I am not. But like, my younger self would not have like stood up to or like challenged someone's thoughts or opinions about most of anything. I would have just kind of gone with the flow and been like, yeah, okay, whatever, yeah, okay, whatever, yeah, okay, whatever. It's always easier to just agree with people than it is to disagree with them, even if disagreeing with them is stating the true opinion that you hold dear to yourself. And at some point in time, around 25 or so, I decided that I guess I was gonna grow a backbone and be tired of just wishy-washy in my way through life. And I have found myself standing up and telling people, no, you're wrong, or standing up to my own beliefs and my own convictions a lot stronger than I would have in the past. And maybe that's like a combination of just me not having strong beliefs and convictions in the past, and now I do. I like to think that I always have had that, but I also acknowledge that if anything, they have advanced in my age now, and yeah, I am becoming more and more comfortable with challenging people and the ways that they think, and not an aggressive like jerk, like, oh, you're wrong, I got you kind of way, but just like, you know, hey, you think that grass is really cool when it's fertilized, and I'm just like, yeah, but what if it's not fertilized and it grows like nature intended it to? And then it's like, oh, hey, let's look at this from another point of view. It doesn't have to be an argument all the time. All right, Last question. We made it. 14 questions. I don't even know how long this is going to be. My camera says 25 minutes, but a lot of that was like prep time, so we'll see. Last question. I let others make decisions. These questions are not going to make me look good at all. But like honestly, I want to give that like a 1. Like I am such a control freak and I love being in control. And like when I have these creative projects and things of that nature, like individuals have reached out to me and asked me like, hey, can I like work on your work with you, or can I do this like piece of work with you, or can I do this with you? And like part of me wants to entertain it just out of the sheer idea of like friendship and camaraderie and let's work together and get something done. That's cool. But then like the creative part of me knows that I love being in control so much that I don't know that I could ever like agree enough to someone else's ideas of my work and where my work needs to go that we could ever successfully work together on anything. But that ship has yet to sail. I'm keeping an open mind about it and want to pursue that at some point in time, but I also know of my own nature and my own inability to just let go. And like I'm really bad about that at work. Like when there's a task that is mine, like it'll be a task that's meant for like 7 people and I decide to own it, and then all of a sudden I'm the only one owning it, but I want to be the only one owning it because I want to do it my way, because I know my way is the right way, because nothing I do is wrong ever. And so like, but then the task like is going to take forever because I'm the only one doing it, and then I dread it because like I'm doing a whole bunch of work that I really shouldn't be doing because I should have 6 other people helping me. But I kind of did this to myself because I scared them away, because I was like, go away, I know what I'm doing. And then boom, here we are. So yes, I'm a bit of a control freak, especially when it comes to creative things, and that is going to be a number 1 because it is something. So I'm going to tally up my score. Been trying to keep track of it while I'm talking to you guys. And then from there, we are going to see what my personality is. Okay, so I've added up the numbers and my average score is a 4.07. So that's a pretty strong 4. So let's go back in my phone here and figure out the 4th personality trait is and see if it reflects me. All right, number 4 is the intense creative. I'm actually pretty happy about that. I like to consider myself an intense creative. It was one of the more favorable personalities on the whole circle wheel thing. So yeah, I'm super happy about that. And kind of as I stated in my intro, like that means I'm destined to do great things because the Enneagram test says that I am an intense creative. So bow down to the intense creative and just get ready for me to sweep the world by storm.